I'm not usually angry, but some actors really made me want to bang the table. The 6 I hated working with is a list I've kept for years, not because they were bad, but because they were demanding, perfectionist, or just difficult. On July 22nd, 2025, at the Mark Hotel in New York, Mel Brooks, the legendary man behind comedic masterpieces like Blazing Saddles and The Producers, shocked Hollywood by revealing a secret no one saw coming. He bluntly named 6 actors he despised, to the point where he never wanted to see them again. However, what was strange was that among these names was one who had helped him create a cinematic masterpiece, but had somehow become the one he hated the most. So, who are these 6 people? And why? Despite once receiving their collaboration and help, does Mel Brooks harbor such intense hatred toward them? All will be revealed in today's video. 1. Dick Van Dyke. The wild horse won't be tamed. Dick Van Dyke, one of Hollywood's veteran talents, became a true nightmare for Mel Brooks in the 1990s. Despite being a famous star, Dick turned into someone who hindered the film's progress and made everything tense on set. The problem began when Mel and Dick collaborated on Mary Poppins Returns in 1991. Mel was very meticulous in preparing the scenes, but Dick had a habit of being late, not just once, but repeatedly throughout the filming. Every time I called everyone in, he'd show up late, making the entire crew wait. Mel shared in an interview with Variety. Mel vividly recalls one instance where Dick arrived almost 3 hours late, only to start complaining about the script, halting the entire shoot. He came in as if everything had to wait for him. This not only slowed down the filming, but made everyone feel like they were unimportant, Mel said in frustration. Moreover, Dick was notorious for his diva-like attitude at work. Although a celebrity, Dick always demanded special working conditions, from requesting scene changes due to personal preferences to making unreasonable time demands and contract alterations. He not only showed up late, but also kept insisting that everything be done his way. It was a challenge to the director and the whole crew, Mel recounted. This frustrated Mel and his colleagues, as every time Dick requested a change, everything had to halt to accommodate his demands. But the betrayal between Mel and Dick didn't stop at his unprofessional behavior on set. One time, during a talk show appearance with Johnny Carson, Dick accidentally revealed personal secrets about Mel's life that Mel had never intended to make public. He not only talked about the early days of our work together, but also went further to share details about my personal life. Relationships I didn't want to go public, Mel said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in 1992. Mel felt violated, as in his eyes. Those secrets should have remained private, not aired on live television. Tensions between them escalated when they had a dispute over the rights in a major advertising campaign for a famous brand in 1993. Mel had been chosen as the face of the campaign toot, but Dick disagreed and demanded a higher fee to participate. He always tried to make himself stand out more in advertising campaigns, while I was the one chosen first. We both had rights, but Dick wanted to steal most of the attention. Mel shared about the dispute in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 1994. This not only strained their relationship, but also devalued the brand, as neither could collaborate harmoniously. However, what infuriated Mel the most was how Dick used his connections to bury Mel in the media. While Mel struggled to protect his reputation, Dick secretly manipulated the press to create articles criticizing Mel and glorifying himself. He didn't just badmouth me in private conversations. He also used his power in the press to make me look bad in public, Mel recalled angrily. Mel also remembered that in 1990, Dick managed to influence several prominent newspapers, leading to criticism of Mel for some work decisions, leaving him with no opportunity to defend himself. The relationship between Mel and Dick completely broke down when a scandal over neglecting crew members surfaced in 1996. Mel was reportedly responsible for the incidents on set, but Dick Van Dyke did everything he could to shift the blame entirely onto Mel. He even acted like he didn't know me when the scandal broke, forcing me to face all the criticism that he should have taken, Mel recalled in deep frustration. The feeling of betrayal was something Mel could never shake off. Dick Van Dyke, once a close friend, had now become someone untrustworthy. Next, we will move on to an unexpected name on Mel Brooks' list, Lucille Ball. This person not only made Mel uncomfortable at work, but their relationship was also full of open conflicts, even fighting each other on live television. 2. Lucille Ball, the queen of sitcoms and a nightmare in the editing room. The second person on Mel's list is Lucille Ball, the sitcom legend who built a television empire with I Love Lucy and became the queen of comedy. The story began in 1980, when Lucille was chosen by Mel to be the star of a special program celebrating the 50th anniversary of his career. Things seemed smooth at first, but it didn't take long for Mel to realize that Lucille was not an easy person to work with. She constantly demanded script changes and didn't respect Mel's preparations, making filming extremely tense. Lucille showed up late and demanded script changes without consulting me. She wanted everything to be her way. Mel bluntly shared in an interview with Variety in 1982. The situation didn't stop there. As Lucille and Mel began to publicly clash over control of the project, Lucille wasn't happy with not being treated as a major star and frequently accused Mel of disrespecting her in the media. During a live interview on Johnny Carson's talk show in 1983, Lucille openly criticized Mel, saying, "Mel doesn't understand what I need, and he has no special ideas." This prompted Mel to immediately respond in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. She thinks she's the only one with creative rights, but sometimes perfectionism can ruin a whole project. Their relationship grew even more tense when Lucille and Mel had a financial dispute over a major advertising campaign in 1983. Each of them demanded a higher fee and wanted to be prioritized in the media campaigns, leading to an intense contract dispute. Lucille, with her wide network in the industry, didn't hesitate to use her power to push Mel out of the campaign, while Mel, equally firm, demanded fairness in the distribution of benefits. She used her influence to get me excluded. All I could do was blame myself, Mel said in frustration. The battle didn't end there, as Lucille accused Mel of spreading false rumors about her in a media scandal. A major article in Los Angeles Times in 1984 reported that Lucille was accused